What's going on, people? Welcome to the Coalition's The React Podcast, episode 13. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and today I'm joined by Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, viewers and listeners?
Got Emilio Lopez.
Yo, yo! I wonder what we're talking about today.
And, of course, Charles Singletary Jr.
What's happening, people?
All right, people, so a megatonny proportions happened tonight. Me, Charles, and Richard, we're playing Dying Light. We're having fun, and then this shit just happens. Like, Spider-Man is coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. All this shit we've talked about in the various podcasts, it all came true, all of it. Who wants to give us the highlights from this? Charles, why don't you give us some of the highlights from this?
I wish you would have told me that I was going to be giving the highlights because I would have been more prepared.
Nah, man, that's how we do it here, man.
Hey, ultimately, Sony will retain the rights, distributing rights, everything to the Spider-Man franchise, but they will be partnering with Marvel and their directors and producers in order to put the films out. The first appearance of Spider-Man will be in one of the Marvel films in the Marvel universe. My guess is going to be Civil War, and then the solo Spider-Man debut, which will be in a new direction with a new crew and cast and everything, will be coming out in July of 2017. I remembered all of that off the top of my head. That was awesome.
Why do you think I called on you, Charles? I knew, man. You got that idyllic memory, man.
The one really cool thing about all of this is, interesting thing about it is that the fact that Sony actually will retain everything and they do have final say. So essentially, think of it as Marvel's being hired to develop their own property.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all the other stuff is in place. I mean, it's the best decision they could make because Marvel's had so many successes.
Yes.
Even their weakest movie is better, which is the Thor films. Even those films are better than those recent Spider-Man films.
Yeah, and Spider-Man is arguably one of the most popular comic book characters, point blank, period. So it makes perfect sense for them to make this deal. Even without retaining the rights.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's safe to say he's not really arguably. He's probably like the second most popular superhero behind Superman. Like, it's huge.
That's true.
And I think that's why Sony was able to have as much pull here because they owned the rights to Spider-Man. Marvel had to, they're essentially renting them from, Sony. This is Spider-Man. Marvel wants this character, even though they own it. They want this character. And that's why Sony got so much out of this. But remember, like you said, Marvel has some kind of creative control because Kevin Feige is going to be part of this too.
The thing is that all of this stuff kind of fell apart after Sam Raimi left, the Spider-Man franchise. See, there was a lot of go between Marvel and him and stuff like that. And I think once he left, it just all really fell apart. They're just like, oh, whatever, And they had to kind of throw together that other, those two amazing Spider-Man films.
Well, they only did that because they needed to retain the rights.
They also wanted to retain the rights because theoretically the plan was to continue to have Sam Raimi doing the films. But again, also the other good thing about this, Avi Arad is not involved.
Yes, Avi Arad, he will not have the spider armor.
No.
Oh,
I mean, as much as Avi Arad had kind of pulled, he essentially started the whole Marvel movie thing. Like he made the big decisions to make that X-Men film. He made the decision to go and do the to have the rights of the Spider-Man to go to Sony and do the Spider-Man film. But at some point, he just started because the films had so much. Because there was so much writing behind them, he of course had all this say on it. Like, oh well, I don't want this. You should have Venom in this. It's like because Venom's the popular character. It's like, no, we don't want to have Venom.
You don't need Venom, exactly.
No, Spider-Man 3 would have been fine without Venom.
Yeah, would have been fine without Avi Arad. It's crazy.
I mean, you would have only been missing 15 minutes in the entire movie. If
you would have been missing 15. How awesome would it have been if you ended off that film with the thing where he's like, oh, I gotta get this thing off of me. Like he almost kills somebody. Like maybe he accidentally kills the Goblin. In his fight because of all that angst and anger that the stupid suit creates, and then he does that thing at the end.
Yeah,
That would have been
well,
very interesting.
but none of that's gonna like happen now. Now here's
No.
the thing. I want to jump on it because it's very interesting. Everything that was leaked, from this report is coming true. Almost every single little part of it. So we have to kind of believe that the other things that haven't been mentioned in this are going to come true, which is basically Spider-Man is going to, he's already going to be Spider-Man. There's no more origin stuff. Just
Yeah.
Spider-Man from the get-go, and a less of a heavy emphasis on the romance stuff. Like we already had that in the last 5 Spider-Man movies, so no more of that. There's probably still going to be an element of that, obviously, but not as heavy. It's going to be Spider-Man just.
Yeah, like how?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, again, it's like now you've already done all his love interests, and the thing is that the big problem with it is that there's such big moments. Like at least the Gwen Stacy dying is such a big moment. So like, is that even going to be is that going to even be in there?
Yeah, that's a good question. And then, as somebody said this on Twitter, it's like, how many Uncle Bens have to die?
I was just about to say that
I-
Uncle Ben can finally rest in peace, guys.
Yes.
Personally, first Uncle Ben's my favorite. I like that guy. Such
First one, right?
such a sweet old guy. I was like, man, I wish that guy was my Uncle Ben.
He's a sweet old man.
Yeah, he's a sweet old guy. I personally like the first Aunt May and the first Ben because they were just kind of a really sweet little old couple, and then you got the new one who's kind of like a hippie and a. What's her I can't remember her name. What's his? Well, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Whoever played Aunt May, I do like that she was kind of feisty, but yeah, she's just kind of.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. Civil War. I don't know if he's going to appear full on it, but remember, if Spider-Man's going to appear before, in a Marvel movie first, it would be Civil War. So I think that's 2016, right? Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yes, the year
Yes, sir.
before.
So he would probably, I would guess he's probably going to make a cameo because I'm pretty sure they're like heavy into production now.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? They haven't started yet?
No, I mean there's probably a bunch of you remember once these things start they start announcing films they're already going to pre-production.
Yeah, exactly.
And also keep in mind though, like remember the time frame on the Marvel event and the alleged Sony summit. The pre-production could have already included Spider-Man's appearance.
Yeah, that's
well,
what
remember they did say that in their little big Marvel thingy, they did also have like a weird mysterious movie in there too, didn't they?
Yeah, but Spider-Man's probably going to be a Civil War,
Yeah, he's definitely gonna pop up in that.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be a cameo either.
Oh, you think he's going to be like a significant role?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's going to be so much that it takes away from Black Panther being kind of a prominent role in that.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be more than just a after credits appearance.
Here's a question. They probably are not gonna do Miles Morales, right?
Absolutely not. I just went on a Twitter rant about this because I'm like, if we just think about it, Peter Parker, like they've only scratched the surface with him. They haven't gotten very far with his story at all, and like the adult Peter Parker has so much potential.
Yeah.
And I think, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
I was gonna say the Civil War storyline is gonna be absolutely incredible. Or the comics were incredible for Spider-Man. We haven't seen things with Kraven. I don't know how you guys feel about Kraven the Hunter, but the dynamic between him and Peter is really, really good. Plus, they're doing an older Peter.
Yes.
They've already said that. So, having that kind of thing. Now, it's a reach for me to expect them to do the other, which is my favorite Spider-Man storyline, but the sky's the limit. I don't think they're going to jump into Miles without tapping into Peter completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and obviously Peter is the most popular Spider-Man out there, so they're going to stick with him.
I would think the first thing they do with these guys is with Spider-Man, if his first villain is going to be somebody that you wouldn't expect.
Really?
I don't think it's going to be Green Goblin. I don't think it's going to be those guys. No. I think it's going to be somebody a little bit deeper.
Imagine if it's Kraven. That would
it could be Kraven. And the thing is, if they do decide to do an older Spider-Man, what would be cool? It's like, okay, all that stuff happened. You knew his girlfriend died at some point. You knew all this. So you have all this backstory for him. So then, you could just theoretically kind of start him later on. But, how do you explain him not showing up during the big Avengers fight? Hey!
Yeah, where were you, Spider-Man? No, I was actually there, a little bit, couple blocks down. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't Spider-Man at that
Maybe Kraven buried him for the entire fight.
Yes. No, it was Spider-Man Torment. All that shit was going on with the Lizard. I was thinking about it. They could kind of pick and choose the bits of Spider-Man history before they happen. Like, oh yeah, my girlfriend Gwen Stacy died. I broke up with Mary Jane at one point. You could do stuff like that. And then here's the cool thing about his own movies. Remember, he's going to first appear in a Marvel movie, right? So you could kind of get away with showing a little bit of the origin in that stuff, and so we're like, oh yeah, he got bitten by a spider, and now he's Spider-Man. You don't have to do any of that stuff in his normal movie.
You know, I mean, it's a lot to set up in the Civil War film. You already have all these new characters they just announced to be inside of it, so I definitely think they're not going to be like, hey, that guy got bitten by a radioactive spider, and that guy, he came from the Wakanda world. It's like, I think they're
Wakanda world.
I don't think they're gonna do too much of that. I think they're just gonna. I think in this one, in this current Avengers film, they're probably gonna talk about Wakanda, but you're gonna know about it. You're just not gonna. It's not gonna just go through all that stuff.
Oh, man, I want to see Wakanda. That would be awesome. But
well, keep in mind that you remember the screenshot of that the chick that could be from Wakanda in the trailer.
They say that there's two theories behind that.
Yes.
There is one other theory that Thor is in what is it? Asgardian hell.
Okay.
Oh, you think that's Hela?
That's Hela.
Okay, that wouldn't be too far off. Especially considering
that gives way into the Thor Ragnarok film, which is coming.
Ooh, that's a good one. Manny, I was just thinking about, remember we talked about this during the first Spider-Man movie. It's like, dude, they could have just done the origin kind of in the intro montage.
Yeah, you could have done, like, in that whole thing, like that. You remember how in Spider-Man 2, they literally gave you every single bit of origin inside of that thing? It's like, oh, now I get it, I remember.
Yeah, it's like, maybe he just do something like that. It's like, bitten by a radioactive spider, loses a girlfriend, hates Green Goblin, let's go.
No, I don't even want them to mention that stuff at all.
I think, they may, they also, the other thing about it is they may not even do the kind of Green Goblin that's the one, that's the that Green Goblin, they may do that weird hulking one from the
Ultimate. That would be awesome.
That would be great.
They may do that too.
I was like, no, I like that Green Goblin.
No. That's not the issue. Green Goblin, I want that to be that's done. I don't
I definitely get it. It's like,
I feel you, man. I feel
it's like
you.
We've already done the Green Goblin like 2 times already, so it's like, give us some other thing. I personally, even though I do like the character of Morlun, I do not think they should do Morlun.
I'd want Morlun only because of I think he has a part in the other to a degree.
I think he's a really dangerous. I think he's a really cool, dangerous kind of character. But I feel like I still don't feel like he has enough heft to him.
Yeah.
Like he feels dangerous, but he just doesn't. He doesn't have. I guess because he hasn't been around long enough. It's just he doesn't have that heft of somebody like a Kraven. And
the weird thing. You say he's not that dangerous, but isn't he also the person that killed Wolverine?
No. I said he is dangerous. I said
I'm talking about his history is not as deep as like Kraven and stuff.
Yeah, it's not like he just doesn't feel like he just doesn't have as much heft, even though he's kicked everybody's ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, the other interesting thing is you're going to have some Marvel guys, Marvel Cinematic dudes, show up in Spider-Man films. I doubt they'll Actually, here's the thing. Let's ask the question. Will they show up in the first Spider-Man movie?
Yes.
And will they be significant?
No.
Okay. That's
it could just be what's his face, Hemsworth, or Captain America just like, hey. That's it.
That's it, yeah.
You know that they're gonna want Robert Downey Jr.
Oh hell yeah!
They want. I would expect Downey Jr. and Captain America.
Yeah, those two at least.
Yeah, I would think that they would show up at some point in there, but I definitely don't think that it'll be like in Thor: The Dark World. Like Cap is in Thor: The Dark World. He just shows up for a couple of seconds.
Good old Loki.
Loki just turns into like, hey.
Now at the end of it, it'll be Samuel L. Jackson. I'm gonna train you. You're going to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, there you go. You could just have him be the.
I don't want to count Nick Fury as one of the two That would suck. I mean, I love Nick Fury, but like that would be
Hey,
he's
Sam
in
Jackson.
everything.
I'm gonna teach you how to be a better Spider-Man, an ultimate Spider-Man.
A dream thing that I would like to see is Hulk versus Spider-Man.
Oh, yes.
I would like to see that fight. I'd like to see it.
Dude, that would be insane because you have Hulk, this big raging monster, and Spider-Man's just flipping around him and stuff. Oh, yeah, please.
You know, it'd be something kind of fun, and this would never happen. But if one movie leaks over into another, so okay, let's say Avengers are having a fight in New York City, right? And the Spider-Man movie is also coming around the same time. You see, like fucking like one of the characters smash into the Spider-Man scene, right? You know, in the Spider-Man movie, and then you get the reverse side of that in the Avengers film. It's like, whoa.
Hey, Marvel and Sony, I hope you're listening because that would be fantastic.
That would be great.
It's like, you know, they're having this big fight, and then Hulk falls in, and like, it's like, whoa, what are you doing here?
And you see the other side of it in the other movie.
It's like
Exactly.
we're fighting some guys on the other side of town, and it's like, hey, what are you doing here, Spider-Man? Oh, I'm fighting this guy.
All right, now here's my other
Fighting
question.
another Green Goblin.
Since it's going to be an older Spider-Man, you think it's going to be like Spider-Man the age that he is now, like in the comics, like 29-ish, or will he be like maybe mid-20s or something like that?
Oh.
You said what age?
Okay,
what options?
20s or 20s.
I would say the 30s age because we don't.
Yeah, 30s is where
30s,
they're
yeah.
going.
I'm gonna say the
pretty
30s. So now the question is, what 30-something actor will you get to play Spider-Man?
All right, hold on.
Good
Listen, yeah. Before we answer that, let me just back up because I need to absorb this. We're gonna like the possibility, or actually not possibility. We're gonna get a 29-year-old Spider-Man. That's what I've wanted since the beginning. I don't want teenage Spider-Man. I don't want 21-year-old. I want adult Spider-Man. Yes. Okay, just had to get that out. I'm very excited. I'm even more excited now.
The Maguire one kind of goes from like 16 to like maybe 20s.
Yeah, but like early 20s, even though the dude was like obviously 30.
Yeah, he was obviously.
But yeah, what actor do you get? Now here's my question: do you want an established? Okay, let me back up. Are they going to get an established guy? Because hey, let's get somebody big, or are they going to get some unknown? What do you think? Remember, I'm not asking you what you want. I'm asking you what you think they're going to do.
Andrew Garfield was relatively unknown, and not for nothing, I didn't care for his Spider-Man. But I mean,
Peter Parker.
His Peter Parker or whatever. But I mean, he was good enough. I feel like the movie he needed better direction, maybe. But
I think with him, it's not going to happen. I've talked about this before, but I agree with what Manny said. If he would have been under the Marvel umbrella, I think he would be retaining that role, and they'd build upon him because he could have done a lot better. He did a really good Spider-Man, and he could have done a lot better as Peter Parker as well, I believe. Just as an actor, I think he had the chops to do it.
I agree.
Now, who will they get that's around 30 or so? I don't know, but I think it's going to be on the same level of Garfield, where they've had that one thing where hey, they have a lot of potential, but this is the big break for them.
Yeah, because remember, Garfield kind of got his break in the Facebook movie, right? And it was like, hey, this guy, he's not that bad. Let's get him to be Spider-Man. So you're right. It's probably going to be somebody on that level where he's been in a movie or two that but he's not superstar yet. So it's probably going to be like that, like an up-and-coming guy.
But then there's a guy like the guy who plays Thor, who's been a Marvel character before.
Wait, what do you mean?
Are you talking about Captain America?
Yeah, he's been a Marvel character before.
Yeah, no, yeah, you mean Captain America, then not Thor.
Yeah.
I was like, what Crim Soldier was Captain Kirk's father, man.
Yeah, he was.
That's what he did.
He was totally a superhero in that film.
Yeah, he got killed by the Romulans. Oh man. So probably they're not gonna get somebody super heavy and stuff. They're not gonna get an unknown.
No, they're not gonna get a heavy for that. It's like everybody's saying, it's gonna be a semi-known person, but I definitely think they want to get a person who is, to be honest, it'd be like something like along the lines of like Tobey Maguire. At the same time, Tobey Maguire was relatively unknown. He'd only been in maybe a few films.
He was pretty famous though. He wasn't
super famous. He was like Spider-Man was what got him big.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. I just thought about this now.
No.
the Amazing Spider-Man movies, one of the things that a lot of people had a problem with, myself included, was the tone. Very dark. I don't think it's going to be dark this time. I think it's probably going to go back to the Maguire kind of tone.
Yeah, it's going to be lighter like the Maguire film.
Because it needs to fit the Marvel universe now. You know?
I disagree.
Wait a second.
You think it's going to be just as dark, Charles?
It's going to be darker. Well, I'll let Rich speak.
Yeah, Rich hasn't said shit.
I'll say why.
I just got one request. I don't want no musical.
You don't want Spider-Man dancing down a street? What's wrong with you?
Oh nah, man, too much of that.
I'll never forget that I was really close to walking out of the theater in that. It was very close.
You know, I think what happened with Sam Raimi is just like when they started telling him all the things he should do, he's like, you know what? Let's just put a musical in here.
F you guys, I'm gonna do
Fuck you guys. Let's just put a musical in the middle of this.
All right, Charles, go ahead, because I want to hear your answer, because this is interesting. Yeah.
I think it's going to be darker, at least to start, simply because of where they have to start. Remember, like, I think that Civil War, yes, which is going to be dark, and then you're probably going to have the Solo movie dealing with the remnants of Civil War, which for Peter Parker, those things were terrible. I don't think they're going to kill Aunt May, but that actually would be really good for the Sony franchise, I think. But all right, so you're going to have the older Peter Parker with an established history. Civil War is going to happen. I think we're going to start off dealing with a broken Peter in the Solo movie. I don't think it's going to be a brighter kind of. I think the next one will be, but I think we're going to start off with a broken Peter.
You just convinced me. Yeah, I think that's actually the best way to go. Because, I mean, if it's going to start off with Marvel, and it's already coming from a pretty dark place, I think you're right about that. Then he'll become like a lighter Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, here's the question, though. Aren't these Avenger movies going to start getting darker?
They are. Look at Age of Ultron, you know?
Yeah, so, it probably would have to be darker.
Yeah. I know Sony's going to want to separate itself from that mood at some point, but I really can't think of a way for Peter to just come out of Civil War like, hey, guys, let's do this.
Yeah, see, my feeling was I'm thinking about current Marvel. It's pretty light so far, but it's about to get really dark. So, yeah, Spider-Man needs to be kind of dark, too, you know? But it's dark, you know, in the right context, not the forced dark of the last couple movies.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Because the Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, didn't have to be as dark as it was.
It didn't at all.
No.
The second one kind of did, but the first one did not.
The second one tried to be dark. You can't be dark with Electro like playing dubstep off freaking light posts.
I wish somebody would like go back in time and erase that from my mind, just like they did with Days of Future Past. Because like, no, nobody needs to see that. Oh, terrible movie.
Hey, shouts out to Fox for just letting their nuts hang and being like, hey, this sucked. Let's erase a lot of it.
Yeah.
Well, now they have something really big to live up to, especially with those Marvel movies. You know, themselves. You know, they have to be on top of their game. They can't just be fucking around because it's like, you know.
They have the cheat codes. I call them the cheat codes just because I feel like they're the better actors out of all of these comic movies with Magneto and Professor X, the young ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think, and they've done well with, First Class was great, Days of Future Past was great. I think they can build upon that. Now, I do have a question, but I'll save it for when Tony's done.
All right. Well, I mean, I think I already kind of said my piece. So actually, no. And one last thing. Okay, so Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man. They're going to distribute all that. But those Spider-Man films are still set in the Marvel universe. They're not their own little thing. Yes. Very interesting. I just find that very interesting.
You know what it is? It's like the comic books, where yes, they do take place in the same Marvel universe, and some things cross over, but not everything.
Yeah. I just find that very, very interesting. Charles, go ahead, Ben. Oh, go ahead, Rich. Then you go ahead, Charles. Go ahead, Rich.
All right. Oh no, I just was gonna say, but you guys said that Sony has the final say in whether or not to approve something, right?
Yes.
For Spider-Man.
But this is for their movies, correct? The movies they got Kevin taking over.
For their movies,
it's for Sony's involvement all around. If Marvel wants anything related to Spider-Man to be involved, they have the final say.
And also, and this extends to Marvel's movies. If Spider-Man said a Marvel movie, Sony has final approval over this, whatever Spider-Man actually says.
Wow.
Yeah, it's split like that.
I hope that man, I don't know about that one now. Did you say that? Well,
I don't think it'll be like a fine comb run through everything. I think it'll be just like, hey, let's not kill this character off, please, because we'd like to have them in this other movie.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
like, go kill Kraven in Infinity War, please.
I definitely think they have certain say over things, but I think they're probably gonna let a lot of it go.
Ooh, are you gonna have Spider-Man villains in these movies too, for example? Like
now that I don't know. Actually, I would like Marvel to come to the table like, hey, we're gonna kill every last one of the Sinister Six. Well, okay, let's do it.
I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think Sony's not.
They won't do it. But I hate what they've done with the Sinister Six, and I like those characters outside of that movie and what it was building.
But that's not gonna exist now, right? That's gone now, right?
We don't know that.
Six film? Yeah, we don't know about that.
We don't really need a Sinister Six movie. Just putting it out there. We don't really need
now we don't need a Sinister Six. Now I could deal with, since we're having that time jump, kind of let the secret unit of whatever that company was, Oscorp, let those things have been stolen from there or something and develop the characters individually. We don't need the Sinister Six just yet.
Yeah, but remember, they may not even use any of that story stuff from those movies at all. It may be. I think it's just gonna be a clean.
It's gonna be tough not to pull from that particular rogue gallery. I'm not, like I said, Kraven can start things off, but eventually I'm sure they're gonna want to do something with Vulture. Probably not Rhino, because that sucked so bad.
I mean, it was a cool looking machine, and he was in, but
everything around it was stupid. No, but what I'm trying to say is, I'm pretty sure they will use the Sinister Six, but I don't think they're going to use any of the story points of those previous.
Oh
no, that's not going to be that.
Because I need them to erase that and the whole thing with his father being alive, possibly. Did y'all know about that?
We don't need to go into that. All right, Nate, go ahead before Charles says his thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just still thinking about what would be the first villain to deal with. Maybe the Scorpion.
Yeah, Scorpion would be good.
Scorpion would be good. Yeah, Shocker, right?
Yeah, Shocker's kind of dopey.
I would like Scorpion because he's kind of Spider-Scorpion,
Yeah, he's kind of like
Scorpion.
It's kind of like Spider-Man versus himself a little bit, but the guy who's in the Scorpion outfit is kind of a dope.
Yeah, they need to make him a little bit smarter, just a little bit,
Yeah.
We don't need Sandman again. All right, Charles, go ahead before you forget what you're going to say.
Well, before I get into that,
okay.
I just thought about it. Like, yeah, Spider-Man's villains really kind of were either super stupid or geniuses. There was nothing.
No middle ground. They were,
they were complete idiots.
Half of the Sinister Six are a bunch of idiots. You're right about that.
Yeah, you only had really Dr. Octopus and the Vulture.
Yeah, Vulture was smart. Because Rhino was an idiot, Sandman was an idiot,
and so is the
Shocker
Electro.
was an idiot.
Actually, Shocker wasn't as much of an idiot in the comics.
I guess he was middle groundish. I guess.
Yeah, I guess he's the closest you can get to middle ground.
Yeah,
Electro was an idiot.
Yeah, he was.
It's funny because he was an electrician. He was an evil electrician. That's what he was.
Let's just take it. Let's take it and run with it, guys. All right. So I actually have two questions.
Ooh.
The first one is, do we think or do we want Fox to get involved with a deal like this?
It'd be cool.
Okay, whoa. Actually, why are you asking that, Charles? I want to know.
Because
he wants to see
Wolverine
inside of the next Avengers film.
You know what? Wolverine can die. But
come on, I like Jackman as Wolverine.
No, he's good. No, I'm kidding.
He's the only saving grace of that whole shit.
Except
other than
Magneto
Magneto and this guy.
Yeah, but go ahead. Okay. What do you mean by Sony? Because I'm like, what are you trying to get at here?
A partnership just like this, where the Fantastic Four and the X-Men can be involved with the entire Marvel universe, even though Fox retains the rights. We see now that it can happen. Sony has that, and Sony was in a shithole. and they needed the help.
Mhm.
Fox doesn't need the help, but would we like to see that? And do we think it's possible?
Charles, you already know my answer, man. I would absolutely love it if you could have the X-Men and the Fantastic Four in the Marvel Universe. That would be fantastic. I don't know if it'll happen, though, because Fox is not in the same position as Sony. They have no obligation at all or any incentive to be like, here you go, guys. They're like, nah, we got money. We're killing.
But here's the thing now. Here's the thing. Fox could see this as, hey, Sony's retaining the rights. All this is going to do is be a positive move for them now, even though they keep the rights.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Wouldn't it alter the universe they already set up? You
No.
know what I mean?
What have they done that would change anything?
No, I mean, like, okay, look, with the X-Men specifically, like, no one has mentioned mutants in the Marvel Universe at all. Like, because I'm going with
They
this.
called them gifted and
But they're
I
inhumans.
figured
They're inhumans. though.
that's what we say. The humans are a thing, but they can be a separate thing.
Yeah, I don't know, because the thing is, like, remember, Spider-Man, even though Sony owns the rights, it's a Marvel Universe movie now. Now, the X-Men movies and Fantastic Four would need to become Marvel Cinematic movies, too. So, I don't know, they would have to, I don't know how they would work with that.
Hey man, Days of Future Past just happened, and they're coming from like the past right now, so they're not even in this time period. So anything could happen.
I don't know how they would reconcile it. But then again, think about it. Days of Future Past happened. What happened with that? They reset everything. So maybe resetting the timeline maybe caused the Marvel Universe to blend. I don't know. but yeah, I don't know how they would work with it in a plot point. But I would love it. I would fucking love it. And, hey, Apocalypse is in a fucking Avengers movie. Could you imagine shit like that? You know, it would be great. You know, I would love that. So, Charles, Galactus in an Avengers movie.
That is the biggest benefit to Marvel is getting Galactus.
And not a Cloud. I ain't talking about no Cloud either. I'm talking about the big purple dude.
The Planet Eater himself.
Exactly. I'm Galactus. Oh my God, that's my answer. I would fucking love that, but we'll see. We'll see. But you're right. Now that this has happened, Fox is maybe like, maybe we'll get a little bit of money off of this. You know?
Yep.
Well,
they
it's not like they're hurting, so
They're not.
They're not.
they wouldn't really need to do it.
Sony needed, even though Sony has a lot more leverage in this because they have the character that Marvel wanted, Sony needed this. They really needed it. Fox doesn't need it at all. They're kind of doing fine. In a way, they're kind of building their own little Marvel Cinematic Universe because there's talks about the Fantastic Four appearing in X-Men and back, and vice versa. So they don't really need this. But it would be great.
All right, so my last question. Do we think that the Sony deal is going to expand into the series, the TV shows?
No. Because Marvel owns the rights to the TV shows. Isn't that ironic?
Oh, well, no.
Remember, Marvel owns the rights to all the TV shows. But now, Charles, let me ask you this, though.
But Sony still
Live
owns the rights
action?
to Spider-Man regardless.
No.
What I'm saying is, why not?
Spider-Man's on Disney right now. Like, Sony's like, hey, I mean, this, as soon as Marvel was bought out by Disney, Disney was like, okay, we're going to cancel Spectacular Spider-Man. We're making Ultimate Spider-Man because now we own Spider-Man.
That's just animated, though.
Yeah, but it's TV. That's what I'm trying to get at. But actually, that's my question to you. Are you talking about animated or are you talking about live action?
I'm talking about live action.
Live action. Now, that's my question because does Marvel own the rights to TV in general or just the animated stuff? Because remember, Marvel owns the rights to the live action X-Men as well. Remember,
but keep in mind, listen to this, though. It wouldn't, considering that their live action TV series are coexist with the films, them owning the rights would be unnecessary because they're not going to do anything with them.
Yeah, but I talked about this on Throwdown too. I was like, theoretically, Marvel could throw X-Men into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because they own the rights to X-Men on television. They can do that if they really wanted to. They won't, but they can.
It'd be counterproductive to do that.
Exactly, it would be detrimental to them actually, like establishing all this stuff. But I don't think that's going to change anything. I think as I believe it is, they own the rights to all the TV shows, Spider-Man, X-Men, all that stuff. So I don't think that's going to have any significant impact there. But they can. Think about it. You're right though. They can. They can bring Spider-Man into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As a matter of fact, think about it like this: Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4. Hey, did you guys hear about that Spider-Man character they have now? They can... So you're right about that. Yeah, they could. That brings up a whole other question. I don't even know if we get into it. Could a live-action Spider-Man TV series work?
No.
Oh.
Like you got the Flash.
That was a quick answer. He said, hell no.
Like we got the Flash now, and that's looking great. But Spider-Man,
We don't need it.
Wait a second.
We don't need it.
Well, hold on a second. Since you brought it up, now I'm gonna ask a question. So if you're DC, how do you respond to this news? Are you now shook about Marvel? Or you like, oh man,
we've been shook for a bunch of years now, bro.
DC trying to work out a deal with Fox so they can get Fantastic Four and X-Men DC universe.
You know. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, we'll see about on television, but yeah.
You know what? I actually retract my statement.
Oh.
I will say this. If they did a Spider-Man show, which I still don't necessarily want it could
You think it'll work though?
It could be good if they did the younger stuff in the show and let the older one exist as he is.
Oh. My mind just exploded right now. Think about it. You have the origin shit.
Uncle Ben can die again on a TV series.
Yes.
You could spend more time with Uncle Ben because you remember he was also Spider-Man while Uncle Ben was alive.
Yeah.
There is some time that we could spend there.
True.
That'd be interesting. They could. Marvel can't do that because they own the rights to the TV Spider-Man. They can theoretically do that. Theoretically.
Live action TV. In other words, a Netflix original Spider-Man series.
There you go.
And he pops up on the Daredevil show.
Yeah, man.
Hey, that's where Kingpin is, guys.
That's true. Yeah, and remember, Kingpin was originally a Spider-Man villain.
Vincent D'Onofrio will be back as the Kingpin.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we need to say about this? I think we pretty much covered all the bases. Very exciting news. Very exciting. Big megaton right here. God damn. And Marvel, what the fuck? You're dropping this shit at midnight? Really? Come on.
Hey, look at what we're doing, though.
Well, when it comes to these sorts of things, there's also like time frames. So sometimes maybe it was like, 12, they both signed contracts like, 12 a.m. on blah, blah, blah. This thing can be, you can say this.
Yeah, midnight Eastern, people in LA are seeing this at 9 o'clock at night. It's like, damn, man, I just got home. I'm ready to go to bed. Shit. You're all excited. I can't even go to sleep now.
And I have a last word suggestion if we're getting to that point.
Yeah.
Which if everyone has to pick one villain that could be the main feature for the debut Spider-Man movie, which villain would it be?
Come on, man.
If you're starting with a clean slate.
Clean slate.
And it's older Peter, but clean slate. No, the Sinister Six shit didn't happen. None of that.
No more Green Goblin.
I
want the Hobgoblin.
The
Hobgoblin. Seriously, let's see.
Yo, man, you said Morlun.
I wouldn't say Morlun. I don't think he's a good one.
That'd be a bad place to start.
Yeah,
you want to put Morlun is like a later villain. You put him on later.
And we can't use somebody like Dr. Octopus or something?
Yeah, you can. Just give us your guy and tell us why.
Well, because it needs to be somebody that's like on Spider-Man's level, like both physically and mentally. I know we had Molina as Dr. Octopus, but I think it'll work. You know what? I'm going with Dr. Octopus because I think he'll be a good intellectual villain for Spider-Man. But you don't need to have their origin tied together or anything like that,
No. None of that.
Yeah.
You remember? Yeah, because that's what they did in the
Spider-Man 2, man.
They didn't make in one of the reboots of Spider-Man. That was one of the things that happened where Dr. Octopus became Dr. Octopus at the same time as Spider-Man got bitten by the radioactive spider.
Yeah.
That was the John Byrne reboot.
My wild card pick. I know you guys are gonna get mad at me. The first villain, Venom.
That wouldn't be.
There's so much setup behind that.
But the thing is, if you do the ultimate Venom, it could work.
They're not doing all the space shit.
No, there's no space shit at all in the ultimate version. It's all Venom came out of Spider-Man, essentially.
Oh, I hate that.
But that's just my wild card. I would like to see like a regular villain. I'm sticking with Dr. Octopus.
They're gonna do the Clone Saga.
Yo, no.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Spider-Man 2099 is going to be my villain choice.
What's the dude's name? Like Manuel O'Hara or something? Miguel O'Hara. That's his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Dr. Octopus is my answer.
All right, Doc. Rich?
All right, I'm gonna have to cheat for mines.
His is Morbius. Next.
Morbius.
Morbius. Hold on, it's not him. Ooh,
Morbius.
Hell no.
If Morbius appears, I want exactly. I was just gonna say that. I want
Wesley
Blade.
Snipes.
You said Blade? You said you want Blade if Morbius appears?
Yes.
All right. Well, I would say, if there was any way that they can have a lot of different villains, why not have Chameleon? And just
the first Spider-Man villain. I like that.
You could go with Chameleon. I mean,
very first Spider-Man villain.
The one thing about he's kind of he's an interesting one because he's almost one step ahead of being kind of a normal dude.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: is like, do you want to I mean, granted, he's a really cool character, but then it's also like, how do you like, there's all those expectations that go behind superhero movies. It's like,
the big crazy action sequence with the city getting destroyed.
Yeah,
and stuff.
the city getting destroyed. You think about all that stuff. It's like, what if you decided to pick just some normal guy with a Morphe mask? I mean, it'd be cool. It'd be cool as hell if they did do that and they made it work. You know what I would say? Mysterio.
Oh,
knew it.
Yeah.
You know what? I like that answer because Mysterio has been derided as one of the corniest Spider-Man villains. But imagine if they make him cool. Do you guys remember how Mysterio died? In Daredevil, do something like they made that
Died
character
of cancer.
Awesome. Yeah, it was a great thing though. Mysterio, I like that answer, man. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
Yeah, he died of cancer from all the smoke that he would use.
Yeah, that was the great. Yeah, that's how Mysterio died. All that shit killed him, and he was like, "Okay, I can't kill Spider-Man because he knows my tricks. I'm going after Daredevil." Great.
Yeah.
Oh, Manny Nash is happy you picked Mysterio.
I like Mysterio. I think if done right, like he could be pretty cool. Like,
yes,
he's very cinematic, and then you could have also the twist for those people who don't know who Mysterio is.
True,
you don't need to do the whole, like when he first appeared, you didn't know that he was a former special effects guy. That eventually came out. But, he's doing all this crazy shit. It's like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? He's like making bats and shit fly everywhere, So then it's like,
he's really entertaining.
It would be a nutty film because you'd have all these different genres of film happening at once because that's Mysterio. He's a special effects guy.
Yeah. All right, Charles, what about you, man?
You just got to make sure it doesn't turn into Spider-Man Forever.
Oh, man.
But I want to touch on what Rich said. I actually love the idea of Chameleon, and you said that you need that big fight at the end. What if Chameleon kind of turned the city against Peter Parker, though?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, where there's that whole storyline where he was essentially dressing up as Spider-Man and doing all these horrible things as Spider-Man.
Yeah, it could be something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. Or Chameleon and Mysterio.
Ooh.
That'd be really screwy.
Or you could do Chameleon, or you could do Chameleon and what was it? Tombstone.
Shocker. Tombstone. I forgot all about Tombstone.
Oh shit, Tombstone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Tombstone is also kind of a normal guy, but he's a little bit stronger than that. He could be kind of semi-Hulk strength,
Yeah. He did have some augmented strength in there.
Punching walls and
I mean, there's also Kraven Hunter, also very
Kraven.
I
will fight you, Spider-Man.
I will hunt you because you're the ultimate prey.
I'm gonna stick with that one. My original choice
With
Kraven. Because I think they could get, after Civil War, Peter being in a broken state, I think that would be the time that Kraven decides to hunt when he thinks his prey is at the weakest state or something like that.
Yeah. Or nobody wants Puma. Nobody wants Puma, right?
Just Sony. I just asked that Sony not try to introduce Black Cat into the story at all. It's not.
Yeah. Hey man, what about Pete? What about Paste Pot Pete?
Here's the thing. I think the Black Cat story does work, but later on.
Yeah, not
like in other words, especially it's the dangerous girl story, which is also pretty awesome, and it's also kind of like he could kind of relate to her because they both have other selves or other identities. I mean, you could eventually explore that sort of thing.
Oh, by the way, news just dropped. By the way, this is still developing.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you, Anthony Nash, who's our news editor for a reason. So check this out. Some dates have been shuffled around now. So Thor Ragnarok will hit cinemas on November 3rd, 2017, as opposed to July 28th, 2017, when the new Spider-Man film is now going to be opening. Black Panther has moved from November 3rd, 2017 to July 6th, 2018. Captain Marvel has moved from July 6th to 2018 to November 2nd, 2018. And Inhumans is now scheduled for July 12th, 2019, bumped back from July 2nd, 2018. So that shit got shuffled, man.
So everything got bumped around because they really want to focus on making a good Spider-Man film.
Which is another reason why I think it's not going to be a cameo in that Civil War.
Yeah, that's
proof right there. They're slotting him as a Marvel feature.
Think about it. Marvel is sliding all the movies around, so Sony's movie gets the little bit of a spotlight. But the Sony movie is a Marvel movie too, so very interesting. Thank you, Nash, for that.
Here's an interesting thing. Sony and Disney have had very interesting dealings as of late.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, of course, you can't say Grim Fandango is part of that, but it's some interesting things. That's another Sony Disney thing. It's Grim Fandango was something that was owned by Lucas, which they recently acquired, and Sony essentially said, "Hey, we'll pay to make this." You know what I mean? So they're having a lot of interesting back and forth between Sony and Disney.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty crazy stuff. All right, anything else before we wrap it up?
I am good.
Zen, big news, and I think pretty much everybody wins out in the end. The fans are obviously happy. I see what you're doing there, Manny.
What? What am I doing?
All right, guys. So thank you for watching and listening. We'll be back with another React podcast whenever something big happens. Good stuff. All right. So once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and I was joined by Charles Singletary Jr.
My spider sense is tingling.
Why are you evil, Spider-Man?
My spider sense is tingling. My precious.
He's Gollum Spider-Man.
They're gonna cast Gollum as Spider-Man. That's what I was doing.
And he's clawing Spider-Man. All right, we got Emilio Lopez.
Do your job.
Yes.
I don't know.
And of course, Richard Bailey Jr.
Okay, no catchphrase from me, but yeah, excellent news.
Thwip. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Later.
Spider senses tingling.
That could be a meme.